Hey, and welcome to the unnamed as of now podcast, which I feel like this fall is going to have a lot of those. This is a podcast where myself, Eric, and my co-hosts Brad and Ryan will be discussing. We're going to start with some records, and then we'll see what other types of media will go from there. We're going to start with some records, and the idea is it'll every one that we listen to. We'll have one person who really, really, really knows the record, really likes the record, and at least one person who has not heard the record. And hopefully, if all goes well, if we plan these things right, one person who ends up hating the record, whether they've heard it before or not. My name is Eric, and you guys can introduce yourselves for the audio listeners. Podcasts as all of the podcasts and the website. So
I feel like a John Hamm of podcasting.
Why is that?
I'm just fucking in everything.
The John Hamm of podcasting. You do have the voice for John Hamm.
Oh yeah, totally. And I'm just oozing that masculinity.
All right. You have a John Hamm for radio, I think is what I meant to say. Son of a bitch. All right. So what we're going to do is we all listen to an album. This week is Weezer's Pinkerton album. If I did this right on the description of the podcast in iTunes, on the website, or on the YouTube video for this, you'll find a link to, I'm going to try to, if I can find a convenient one that'll get me to each song, great for you. But if not, I'll just post a link to the full album, and you can take a listen with us. We'll talk about the album in general, go track by track, and then end talking about the album again. So this album in particular has a rich history. Brad, could I let you take that away?
Just like the general timeline of the album, maybe?
Yeah, and like the things surrounding it as it was being made, when it came out, and yeah. And maybe some possible changes to public perception after some time.
So this is Weezer's second album, their follow-up to the very popular Blue album, self-titled Blue album, which came out in '94. So Pinkerton came out in fall of '96. So everybody is, 2.5 years later, everybody's clamoring for some new Weezer music, and this comes out, and it's quite different from the first record. So both critically and a large part, fans too, were just hated it. I think Rolling Stone
Isn't
put
that
it
the
on
history of every
if not the
Weezer record?
What's that?
With the exception of the Blue record, isn't that pretty much how Weezer rolls? They put out an album and their fans hate it afterwards. That's just kind of how it is. But they still defend them. They still defend them.
Ryan.
Because everybody loves that Buddy Holly song.
Ryan, the answer is that Brad won't give you is yes, but at this point it wasn't deserved.
Rolling Stone called this, if it wasn't it was on the list of worst records of the year.
It's below Bush, right? Below a Bush record.
Sure.
I did my research for this shit. You like the band. Where's your head? Get it in the game, son.
Sorry, I didn't memorize the listing from 20 years ago.
You should be.
But since has become critically revered and considered, top 2 Weezer records. Most hardcore fans fall into either the Blue or Pinkerton camp as being their favorite album by them.
And I think Pinkerton now, after time has passed, officially won, and the reason being that no college-based white rappers have sampled any of the songs on it. I think it gets away without that stat, and so it's the best is how it works. Well, one thing that I thought was interesting was how Rolling Stone went back and rated it one of the 10 best albums of the decade, after rating it worst album of the year. That's beautiful. And as Ryan had said earlier, what did you say we should call this episode of the podcast? before Brad got on?
Hello? I think I lost my internet. Are you guys still there?
Yep.
Okay.
What did you say before we started? What did you say we should name this podcast?
Why did Pitchfork give this a 10? It
Um,
wasn't even I looked up Pitchfork Pinkerton, and it wasn't even an original album. It was the reissue. So they gave a reissue a 10 because I don't even know why.
Everybody fucked up the first time. I'm glad I gave the description of this show. Can you tell what camp everyone's falling into? Well, that's what's interesting about Well, okay, Brian. First off, if you want to feel better, Ryan's not a big Weezer fan. If you want to feel better about Pitchfork, and which you're giving some amount of validity to, fine. You should go look at after we're done this. Go look at the review of Make Believe. I think they gave it a 0.3 out of 10. And why do you sound like a fucking like cartoon villain whenever some art you don't like gets bashed? You would look a little bit less villainish probably if you were petting one of your cats, but you're pretty much fulfilling the stereotype. So,
I mean, I live to please.
So, Brad, before I jump into complete conjecture, which is probably misinformed, how did this...
No, I want to hear this.
Okay, well, here's how I recall the timeline of how this release came out, or affected the band.
Okay.
So, I know going into it, when Rivers was writing it, he had a hand in, or a wrist or something in a cast, which is why, if you look at how it's all played in the, or at least his guitar parts are all played in like a standard guitar position on the first 4 frets, because that's the only position he could have his hand in when he was making it. Huh?
I was just laughing.
Because you're a dick?
Yes.
So...
Wait, what did he do to his hand?
I don't know. Jerking off to the success of the Blue Album too much.
Is that why he wrote the songs about he's tired of sex, but he's just gonna keep spanking it, so he got like carpal tunnel.
I don't think tired of sex masturbation. We'll get to that. All right, so...
It's post-masturbatory.
Yes. So...
This is what I would actually throw the Weezer into that genre, is post-masturbatory. All right,
let's tone it down just a little. Well, actually, no. This is kind of what we pay you for. That's what we don't pay you for. Okay, so he writes the songs. I believe they recorded them just as a full band, maybe with a click track, or if anybody had a click track, it was the drummer. But I believe them. I thought the majority of the rhythm guitars, bass, and drums were recorded like with each other, which is why there's so many like random tempo change things, and everything it's got a pretty like loose live feel to it. So then I believe when the album came out, they the critical and commercial like flop really messed with their singer and songwriter Rivers' head about like, oh, everyone wanted me to write more personal songs, and I did, and I got real personal, and like I said some real stuff that could potentially be embarrassing. And God, if Twitter existed when that record came out, we'd never hear from him again. But like, yeah, all this like confession stuff that he's singing about. And then he just kind of like went a little nuts, got a little control freaky, got obsessed with writing pop hits or how to please everyone's please everyone's.
Yeah, he just kind of disappeared for a while after that.
Yeah, and then
like moved into an apartment, painted all the walls black, and just like pulled up there writing and trying to figure himself out.
So did you know if they toured much after the record came out? Or if he just was like, peace.
Yeah, I'm sure. Of course they toured.
Yeah. Their record label would not let that happen.
Right. But yeah, he just kind of, after that, he kind of, I think he went back to Harvard at some point in that stretch. Yeah, after that, like maybe the year after that record.
And so,
but really, like, wasn't doing anything, releasing music, playing like a few like small club shows under like a different name.
Goat Punishment.
For a while.
Was that the same?
No, that was not Good Punishment. That was later.
Okay.
This was called Homie.
Okay.
And that was actually where the second bassist came in, I think they met up in Boston when he was at Harvard.
Oh.
And he started playing shows with him there.
As a bassist who's been replaced when another band member went to college and met a new bass player, that really stings. So I love Matt Sharp. They're Weezer's original bass player. I really liked his backing vocals that I did not realize. Like, I was like, what is the thing that's missing when it comes to the Green album and beyond? It's because that voice isn't there. I thought his voice was the perfect complement to Rivers.
Yeah, that's the problem with the Green album.
Well, there are other guitarists that have some pretty sweet backing. Like, I don't know, it's just this interplay between all of them, and
yeah.
It's just I also feel that this is my, again, completely unsubstantiated theory about Weezer, is that Rivers and Matt Sharp, now stay with me, is that Matt Sharp was the was the Larry David to Jerry Seinfeld, where he was kind of like, well, and this is also unsubstantiated about their relationship, but after Larry David left Seinfeld, the storylines got super wacky, and now seeing things that Seinfeld's done since then, I feel like he has a very absurdist and out there sense of humor that got very much reined in by Larry David's strong, cynical, and just like, no, we're not going to do that. That's in my head. That's how it always went. It's like, no, that's ridiculous. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. And that's kind of how I felt with, even though Rivers wrote all the songs, I still feel that Matt Sharp probably had a role in helping advise him and guide him, which makes sense why Matt Sharp got so sick of dealing with whatever Rivers was going through, and because he quit. They didn't replace him, right? He quit.
Yeah, it was more just he kind of left to do his own band. Like, I think he just
The Rentals.
The Rentals, yeah. He was kind of feeling like he could have some success there, and wanted to do that, and just kind of was not in the band anymore.
I told you this from an interview with Rivers, and Brad, you rolled your eyes out of your head. But he said that while he was working on the record Fall at Pinkerton, he listened to the Rentals record, and he said that Matt Sharp did everything on that record that he wanted to do with the next Weezer record. Do you think
Rivers said that Matt did everything,
like
on the Rentals record?
If Rivers could have done it, he would have wrote that Rentals record because he thought it was so good, and it was everything
that Rivers wanted to do.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
And I think I told you that, and you were just like,
No, man, sure. I'll believe it if you said it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So, all right, wake back up, Ryan. Can I talk shit now?
You kept saying Sharp, but this conversation just got dull.
That's actually not bad. All right, so we'll go through it. So the first track is "Tired of Sex." Now I don't know exactly how we should structure talking about the songs, but you son of a bitch, Ryan, why don't you tell us why you think it's about masturbation?
Oh, I mean, if he's so tired of sex, I mean, he's got to let it out somehow, right? And so there was a really interesting point in the song where he started screaming, and that emotion, I mean, that just conveyed that he really hates some sex. And that he might not want to get laid, but there's a guitar solo. That guitarist is totally going to get him after that.
Probably him. He's like, I'm tired of sex, but my guitar is just getting started.
I mean, I get it. He's, it's tough being a musician with a hit record, and you got all these groupies after the show. I mean, it's a hard life. You don't have love, true love, and it sucks not having true love. And it just comes across as he's such a child in this entire record, and it's just so whiny and annoying. Just want to reach through the speakers and slap him, and tell him to get over himself.
All right, so with let's see, I always interpreted "Tired of Sex" was just just what you said towards the end there, not about masturbation, but where he was very much just it's all kind of meaningless. I wish I could actually find somebody to make love, as he puts it. I didn't, until I started learning how to play the song recently, I never realized that the where he's going through the days, the Monday night, I'm whatever. He's listing girls' names, and I was like, holy shit, because he's just like, wait, what's the? I meant to pull up this fucking this lyric. What's the actual line, Brad? You would know it. It's like Friday.
Monday. I don't remember the exact which girl goes to which day, but it's like Monday night I'm feeling Catherine. Tuesday night I'm something like that.
Yeah. So it just goes on and on. Like, okay, so on this night I'm banging this lady. On this night I'm banging this lady, and just kind of goes through that. And I thought that was really funny, not just because he's like. Listening to that record through the like I guess through the lens of people told him to be more personal, and he's just like, these are not things, especially in what'd you say, 96? Is that when it came out?
Yeah.
Especially in like 96, you're not it's like what Matt Pryor from the Get Up Kids said about the first time he heard the first Say Anything record, and there's a line where he goes it's something about like she's sleeping with me, but probably only because of my band. And he's like, when I heard that, I put my headphones down and was like, it's true, but you can't say that. You just can't say that on a record. And that's what a lot of this record is. It's like, holy shit, this is one of the biggest like rock stars in the world, essentially. He just had a gigantic selling album. And these are extremely personal and very risky lyrics.
He's basically just taking lines out of his diary and singing along to them.
Yeah. So, Brad, what's the song actually about? Do you have any historical knowledge? Anything from the Weezer boards? Ryan laughs, but I'm serious.
No, I mean, yeah, you put me on the spot here. I feel bad. I didn't do my refresher research. But yeah, that's pretty much the story. Like, he's having all these good times with these ladies, but lacking something more.
Now, real quick, I know it's boring as shit, so hopefully I won't do it too much. But the music, that opening bass line, because I had listened to the Blue album a handful of times. Everyone in my fucking life for years told me to listen to that record. I probably didn't give it a proper listen until like 2003, 2004. But in 2004, I listened to Pinkerton. And that bass riff came on, and I was like, this is incredible. That whole thing and the yelling parts are actually really friggin' sweet. Very almost ahead of their time in that for that just general alternative music. I will say the music throughout Pinkerton, I liked it. I mean, it's catchy. It's got everything you want out of that kind of record. It doesn't I don't think it breaks any ground, but I think it does what it needs to.
I think it absolutely broke ground in goddamn 96. It's just it's Rivers that just bothers me throughout that record.
Well, that'll teach you to chase waterfalls.
Okay.
Stick to the. Never mind. All right. Stick to.
But yeah, those opening drums in Tired of Sex always get me. Just like that really booming kind of. Even from like that the first like. Cymbal, it just like almost sounds like old and rusty a little bit.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good.
Cool. All right, sweet. Get You, Brad. Can you tell us a little bit? Do you want to like jump in and talk about that song a little bit, or any little tidbit stuff you can think of from that one? That's one that I tend to skip. Not that, like, I mean, I don't know, is it self-explanatory or how? Oh, I guess this would be the time, if you're listening for this record for the first time because of this podcast, I don't know how that's possible, but just go ahead and listen to that song now, and we'll wait.
Is that the one where he talks about it hurting so much?
Yeah.
Okay.
So tell me, hey, let's do, you know what, I like this little point-counterpoint between you two. Why don't you tell me about the song as if I'd never heard it before? How would you describe it, Brad?
This one...
Or how about this? How would you describe it, Ryan?
Yeah.
So, Rivers is complaining because something hurts. That song, too. He should just stop doing it if it hurts so damn much. Or maybe that's what song number 1 was about. So then just delete song 2 and just skip right to.
Well, I actually did that on my
iTunes. Song 1 again.
Yeah. No, it's. Excuse me. Sorry, this is my bad. I promise every other song on this record I'm gonna be more prepared. Right now, I'm just pulling up lyrics because I cannot believe I'm drawing such a blank. Like I know every other song on this record inside and out, but for whatever reason, this one is because it's garbage. No.
How many illegitimate children do you think that Rivers has?
I don't know. Your glasses make me think he's got one more. All right. Well, we got that joke out of this song.
So backstory of this song a little bit, and the somewhat applies to a lot of the songs on Pinkerton. Is that this was so Rivers was all before Pinkerton came out. Rivers had been working on this kind of rock opera called Songs from the Black Hole, where he had made these characters and written this whole story about these people who they're going off into space. I think it was primarily these 2 guys and 1 girl, and the 1 guy is trying to get with the girl, but the girl's kind of going after the other guy. And this was one of the songs from that eventually made it onto Pinkerton.
So really, pretty much he just took away the space element of this whole thing, and this is basically
somewhat. I mean, I forget exactly how many songs on Pinkerton are from that. It's a few, but yeah, a lot of the themes are similar.
Real quick, I already have 2 corrections from everything I've said before. Hopefully there are some diehard Weezer fans that stumble over this and have just been raging at their computer for the last 10 minutes.
So love to do that.
The reason... So yeah, right. That's funny. So when Rivers was writing the songs, it wasn't that he could only write them in a specific, hand. It didn't make sense because I've learned how to play most of the songs on the album, and he definitely doesn't just use one hand position. He had to do it because he said that since he write quote all the dinner was in the microwave because he was always doing homework or laying in bed on painkillers. He was laying in bed on painkillers because he had leg surgery. That's where the surgery thing came in. And so he was holed up. Yeah, okay.
Is that what he's singing about hurting so much? Is his leg surgery? That means those painkillers really aren't helping then.
I love Ryan, the literal ways that you're taking all of this. Next time we'll analyze one of your favorite prog rock albums and take all that shit literally. It's like, no, they're traveling through space. No, this is about astronauts. Son of
If you go back on
this record,
okay. Hold on. You just attacked me for taking this record literally, but you just said that it was one of the most personal records he ever wrote, and Brad said it was practically like reading from his diary. So how am I supposed to interpret it?
That just means, it's written about true events, not take every, like, oh, it hurts. That means my knee hurts.
But how do you know that's not what he's talking about?
Because why would you sing about your knee hurting?
Why would you make all of the Weezer records that Rivers made, except for maybe the Blue album?
Except for maybe the Blue album? Because no one's singing about their knee hurting. You know that.
You clearly are not as familiar with the Weezer discography as I anticipated.
Okay.
They're there. You just have to look for them.
It's funny if you go back and watch the when they performed "Say It Ain't So" on Letterman. You can see Rivers is just like he's not moving at all. He's just standing at the microphone stand. And if you look closely, you can see one of his pant legs. This kind of has this boxy shape to it because he has this huge, like, pins, whatever contraption on his knee to keep it stabilized because the operation he was having was
Isn't
to
that
have
like
his
what Dave Grohl did recently with?
similar, yeah. Different cause of injury though.
My computer sensed I was losing an argument, so it it jumped ship.
It's all good.
Yeah. All right, sweet. Ryan, is it worth yelling at me again? I lost
Did
it
I
at
lose
you just started going off, and then it got out.
Hello?
Yeah, was it worth you telling me whatever you're yelling at me about, or can we move on to no other one?
Let's move on.
Okay.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. So no other one is the next song on this record. Now, okay. So in this storyline, I know it's not the same thing as like the Songs from the Black Hole, where it's a straight up story. No other one, to me at least, is kind of like now all of a sudden he's found somebody very specific, and I got the vibe. I don't know why I make shit up in my head. Obviously, I try to fill in pieces that aren't there, and sometimes I'm right, most of the time I'm not. But I started like interpreting it as someone from a long time ago. That's all I'd ever interpreted it as. How about you, Ryan? Before Brad tells us what, I don't know, the most informed opinion is.
I don't think I had any notes on this one. I think I just kind of.
You were how?
It was insignificant in my listening experience.
I like this one.
Insignificant in my listening experience.
This is so great. The more I hope we can, if we keep doing these, we can compile more and more embarrassing quotes from the two of you about music. Because you have enough on me. Brad, I once told Brad. What I meant to say. Brad or his roommate Todd, one of them asked me if I'd heard of this band or listened to this record or something, and it was like a smaller band. And what I meant to say, and what I meant to say was, oh yeah, I try to listen to every band I come across or is recommended to me. But Brad, do you remember the words that left my mouth?
I want to say.
I listen to every band.
Yeah.
Hey, dude, have you heard this record? I listen to every band. All right.
Oh my god.
So how do you feel about this one, Brad? We have some
I like this one. I think it has like a little bit, kind of a different feel to it from the rest of the record too.
In what sense?
It just
Yeah,
feels
seriously, in what sense?
Oh, two very different sides to this same question. Very.
It just feels like it's just a prettier song, I think.
Yeah.
It's a little more. I don't want to say optimistic, but kind of optimistic, and just the melodies. It's just a little more positive, I think.
Why is he so scared of the fact that she has a tattoo? Like, he's really concerned. She does drugs. Oh, and she's got a tattoo. She's got this one tattoo, and I'm terrified. That wasn't even supposed to be a joke. I'm just, well, yeah, of course it was supposed to be a fucking joke. But, like, yeah. I don't... No, but seriously, I don't know. It's
just, like, part of the character of her.
Yeah. Well, I think Ryan... I hate to say it, I think he nailed it a little bit on the head earlier, even though he came from very different perspective. He's described, like he says, Weezer's Rivers comes off as a child throughout this entire thing, and the more I'm kind of looking at it through that lens, and I think it's actually kind of cool, but I'm like, holy shit, like he is kind of like, he's reminding me of when I was like 14 and had all these and never dated anybody before and had all these preconceived notions of what love, relationships, and dating was, because I just had no experience and I just compiled it from whatever I'd seen on TV or in my life up to that point. Mm-hmm. And so when he's describing, like, he's putting those being afraid of her drug addiction on the same line as having a tattoo is kind of like, I don't know. It's interesting to me. He's kind of a little kid. He's just like, I don't know. All right. So why bother? We'll go. Okay, so listen to Why Bother, and then come on here. I don't need to keep saying that. Wow, this is. I don't want to say it's a rough takeoff, but inappropriate 9/11 joke, right? Right, fellas.
Huh.
I don't know. All right. See, okay, so huh? Too soon?
Too soon.
It is August. So, all right.
Oof.
Oh, I know. Jesus, man. If only those terrorist aim were as bad as mine on that fateful day, we could have avoided. Should I triple down?
Why not at this point?
Yeah. Okay, well, why bother? So this next song. Okay. So I really like this one a lot because he really boils down that. I don't know. You get that vibe. Have you ever seen a girl? This is such a hacky premise, but it's true. You ever see a girl who's very, very attractive, and you just get mad? And it's just I don't know why I'm mad, but I'm just mad at you for existing. I don't know. But that's kind of the vibe that I get from this song, where he's just here's where he starts talking about jerking off. Ryan, you're gonna love this one. He's talking about just I see you and I'm totally head over heels in love with you, and then he has to remind himself, he's like, you just want to sleep with her, right? This isn't love. This is the exact same thing that's been happening to you over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So Ryan, why do you think this song helped the record get a perfect 10 score on Rotten Pitchforks?
On Rotten Pitchfork, I think one of their key arguments was that because it was from the perspective of a child, or because it was so childish, it's tough to relate to as an adult, which makes it a challenging record and all that.
Did they say that, or is this something you're making fun of them for?
What?
Is that actually part of the review?
Yeah, I'm 100% serious. I'm not making this up.
You know what? So I was thinking one of the podcasts I always wanted to make, but I think it would just, I don't know if it would work, would be a Doug Loves Movies thing, but instead of the Leonard Maltin game, what you'd do is you'd read Pitchfork reviews, almost just verbatim, and it would be just as laughably bad because the clues would not lead you anywhere near the actual record that they're talking about. That is the dumbest, most pretentious bullshit I've ever heard. It's a challenging record.
Maybe we should end every one of these podcasts with an excerpt from something, and someone has to guess it.
I don't even need to. We should just read, every time we do a record, we should just read the Pitchfork review at the end. That's insane. Just check back in with Pitchfork periodically, see what they think about it. They're saying it's that's, you know what? That's as pretentious as when you said about the, Ryan, when you said about the Red album, that it would be good if all the songs were parodies of other genres and not serious songs. It's a challenging record because it's hard to relate to. Therefore, it's
let me find
Also, I like how you described their review of an album as an argument. All right, Brad, do you have any thoughts on Why Bother?
Another one, great drums in this song. Just it's helped by being the fact that it's a pretty fast-paced song. So you get some just great fills going on. A bitch and a guitar solo.
No, the guitar solos on the first two Weezer records, for the most definitely on this one. Brad, you've always told me that you don't like guitar solos that, for the most part, just kind of mimic the vocal melody. You say it's like they're ripping you off out of a solo.
That's Green Album Syndrome, is just play the chorus melody on your guitar.
Yep, that's what I was getting at. They definitely had the solos definitely switched up for that record.
Yeah.
All right, so the next song on Pinkerton is Across.
Wait, hold on. So I found one of the quotes here.
Okay.
It's a really tough album to go to bat for if you're an adult, particularly since enjoying it is so closely associated with relating to it. And then he goes on to later compare it to In Utero, because it's a record that also mixes relatively raw alt-rock production, undeniable pop smarts, and a lead singer that absolutely freaked the fuck out by fame.
Pop smarts. All right, sure. You know what? Actually, that last part actually was a good review. I just didn't want to agree with anything that it said other than the 10 out of 10. All right. Okay, so the next song on this record is Across the Sea, where he's singing, I think this one's relatively clear-cut, where he's singing to a young fan, a female fan in Japan, who wrote him a letter.
This one I had a problem with because
No, this one you had a problem.
This one I had a legit. This song is racist. It starts with broken English in the lyrics. What the fuck? It's no. It's not art. It's fucking racist.
All right, is this Tumblr post all done, or can we move on? So before you hashtag this, cancel Colbert. Was that reference too dated? So it was topical.
It was.
I love the broken English. God damn it, man! Because that's how she wrote the letter to him. Like, and so that's just a creative spin he put on the initial. Yeah. It's not like he called her up and was like, "Hey, you talk funny." Like he's just
he's using like her. I think she wasn't like credited with the like writing the song, but I'm pretty sure he did send her like some royalties from the song.
Oh, that's cool.
Or something, because of how much her letter is in this song.
Now, Ryan, if he had sent her some royalties, that would be offensive. But he did not.
You're such a dick.
Okay. So.
But it's funny that Ryan, is that your main beef with this song?
That, and he insulted U.S. stationery. I mean, clearly he's never been on Etsy.
Yeah, that site that didn't exist on that internet that didn't really exist at the time.
I thought he was supposed to be ahead of his time.
That's true. You know what? You got me there. All right, Brad. I mean, there's definitely more I want to talk about the song. Do you? Yeah. I assume you want to bring up the fact that of all the things of the thing that people would be offended about the song on, that's the least one.
Right.
Okay, so go on. Tell us about that.
About what? About
what
line?
Most people who are offended by the song are offended by.
Just that she's probably an underage girl.
Yeah. I guess she's 18. He may have taken some liberties with the with that
Yeah. So this is where we go from taking it literally to taking it a little bit more figuratively and assume that she's significantly younger than the age indicated.
Not significantly, but I bet if she was under 18, he wasn't writing that.
I thought this was supposed to be a deeply personal record for him.
Yeah, but not like he's not going to perjure himself. But I thought that was like, I could totally picture, it's just the way he sets it up at the beginning, I could totally picture that letter. And it's insane because it's like, it seems like what she's just asking him. It's not like she wrote him some super deep letter. She just wrote him just a general, hey, what's your favorite food? When's your birthday? And he's like, I'm in love. which is definitely, it's the same issue he's dealing with throughout this entire record. And it's just another example of like, no, I'm in love for absolutely no reason because I'm making everything way bigger than it is in my head.
It's what tends to happen when you're alone and depressed and some girl reaches out to you and you're like, oh, this girl contacted me. I'm in love with her now.
Yeah. And I know, Ryan, I'm sure you get how he sniffs and licks her envelope, right?
Yeah, he does more than that, though, right?
The sniff was... I mean, I get it if she like sprayed perfume on it. I don't know. I don't know how you guys are with the ladies, but I've definitely received letters with perfume sprayed on them once, over 10 years ago.
When you were a child.
I was 8. No, I guess maybe older. So maybe I was 9 years ago. Smart ass. Wait, I'm 29. 10 years ago. I don't know how old I am. Dude, someone. Oh fuck! What was it? Somebody in Defend Pop Punk group called me a virgin a while back as like an insult, and that's when I decided to leave. I was like, oh shit, they're all like 12. Like this is. I was like, oh my god. And then because this was last year, I started thinking, I was like, I didn't respond, but in my head I was like, I lost my virginity over a decade ago. Like. Virgin.
Plus you have a child, so that's living proof. Either that or your child is the daughter of Christ, of God or whatever. Virgin birth shit, I don't know.
Listen, Ryan, I don't want you to bring this up again, how every record has strong Christ undertones, and that really offends you. And ugh. All right. Where we get?
It should be worth noted. This song is like considered one of the best among like the big Weezer fans, like one of the best of their songs.
Yeah, this song is incredible. I think this is such a cool song, especially the way it deviates into the bridge. I thought was really, really cool. Now, here's where I projected a little bit, and I'm looking up lyrics now, but I'm not sure if this is accurate or what. But he says, "It's all your fault, mama, it's all your fault," and does the whole, like, Freudian Oedipus type shit that he jumps into. When I was listening to the record, I never thought he said mama, I always thought he said ama, which, if I'm remembering correctly, is what my Korean friends called their moms. And so I was like, oh, maybe he's doing that. But then I was like, well, I don't know if that's necessarily Japanese. And, it's 10 years later, and I never looked it up, and we're talking about it on the podcast. So who knows? Maybe I can get maybe you can post this on the Weezer boards, and I can get a shitstorm of comments on the YouTube video. Should be great. I'm getting lots on my fantasy football drafts. Those people cannot wait to tell me about what I did wrong. All right. Yeah, and Rivers in here complains a little bit about how the business is really lame.
You can stop after the fourth word in that sentence.
Oh my. Okay. All right. Fine. I do love the as if I could live on words and dreams and a million screams. Like, he really is just like. And here's the thing, Ryan. I know you're saying it's like he's being a whiny rock star. But, like, it's from day one. Like, he wrote, I don't know exactly when he wrote it, but I remember he was talking about describing touring on the Blue album when it started taking off, and he was really bummed because he was like, maybe he's a whiny rock star. All right, he was really bummed because he was like, my friends are off in college learning real things, they're off doing, like, real jobs, or, like he said, some of his musician friends are, like, composing all the time or playing, like, real stuff. And he goes, I'm on stage every night playing the same half hour of pop song, and he was just really like, I mean, he wanted to be doing something more. And as great as the Blue album is, to him it was like, this isn't. It didn't fill him with meaning, because to him it was just like some pop songs. So I don't think he's just all of a sudden like freaking out by fame and going like, I can't. I have everything I want, and now I treat it like it's nothing. He's always treated it like it was nothing, kind of.
I really love the line, I've got your letter and you've got my song.
Yeah, I like that too.
Because I don't know, who knows, maybe he didn't have like a return address and he couldn't write this girl back.
Oh shit.
So all he could do is write her a song, and then being a huge rock star, get it out there in the world.
Yeah, that makes, wow. I didn't even think about it like that. And if it were it's not even like they had even if he had a return address, like, all they could really do was send letters. It's not like they had the internet, and he couldn't be, he wouldn't have that, well, it's probably for the best that he doesn't have that, like...
He couldn't Snapchat her.
Yeah, exactly, all that evidence. He couldn't get front porch stepped.
Yeah.
All right, so then we move into The Good Life. And, as I was some of the lyrics, tell me who's that funky dude? Some of the words, you know what? I shouldn't complain about specific words because I listen to 311, and there are so many random-ass corny lyrics that are just like, we need something thrown in there. Let's use the word funky a lot. But I like this because he really is just, like, yelling at himself. Like, I tried to find love, I can't find it, something's inherently wrong with me. So, you know what? I guess I'm just going to go back to, like, banging everybody left and right.
I mean, even he knows, like, that he's being kind of ridiculous here. Like, excuse the bitch, and I shouldn't complain.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, you shouldn't complain.
Apology not accepted.
Oh man. Well, so yeah, and musically again, this is another one where they like, he really did let himself do. I mean, I don't want to call everything punk music, but he definitely let more punk influence in, which was really cool.
Yeah.
And it's interesting with the Blue album because, like, I don't know what stage they wrote everything in, but I know if you listen to all the old Blue album demos, they're much slower, and the distortion is a little bit lower.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like they went right into the studio and said, pick up the tempo and make it more heavily distorted, which was why growing up I always thought like 90s alternative, like mid to late 90s alternative, I would classify bands like Green Day and Weezer and a handful of other bands as the same thing, but really I was just hearing fast-tempoed songs with distorted power chords. And there are all these other intricate differences between the genres of those bands. And bands like Third Eye Blind and Everclear too would do the same thing. A lot of fast-paced, distorted power chord-driven songs that were like, it was almost like post-punk, where they had a small amount of punk influence. And I thought, if you re-listen to the Pinkerton and you listen to some of those songs like Get You, Got You, I always forget.
Get You.
And Why Bother and Good Life. They're all ones where it's just like it's very punk influenced, which I think is a really, really cool thing for a band like that to do, and I think that's what sets Pinkerton apart from their other records in a big, big way.
Mm-hmm.
So can we move on to everybody's favorite song except for mine?
Before we move on, in The Good Life, you talked about Matt Sharp's falsetto background vocals before.
Yeah.
This one has one of my favorites on the Screw This Crap, I've Had It.
I've had it.
Yep.
He also does regular background vocals, but yeah. He does a lot of falsetto on El Scorcho too. Jeez.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Ryan?
I took notes, but I took terrible notes, so I'm not really sure what this is. But what's the one? If you were as sorry, that was my note. Where he's like, as good as married, but married is no good, or married in my mind is no good. Which one is that?
Yeah.
Is that The Good Life?
No, that is like you're a couple songs ahead.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
Well,
right.
I guess I just blacked out during this.
you just yeah. All right, El Scorcho opens with the line, "God damn you half Japanese girls, you do it to me every time."
How's that sit with you, Ryan?
It clearly does. And then
What?
and then jumps into the redhead said you shred the cello, which is a great little rhyme scheme. And I'm Jello, baby. Brad, what the fuck? I want to clarify. I love this record.
Yeah, this is.
I've never really talked about it lyrically before. I just know that I like all the songs.
When you know you're talking to the wrong guy about lyrics.
Yeah, that's true. Well, okay, so I feel like we've even had the conversation before. There is a lot of gibberish in this song.
Yeah.
There's a lot of gibberish in this album.
I don't think anything is fluff though.
Yeah, I think it's because it's not gibberish. It's just gibberish to us. It's all inside stuff. He's referring to specific people. But to be honest, it does make it a little hard to like. Okay, so what? He's pissed because there's a half Japanese girl he can't talk to because she's in Japan, and then there's I assume the half Japanese girl is going to be the girl from Pink Triangle. We're just hearing it out of order. So for reasons we haven't discovered yet, because spoiler alert, he isn't able to get with her either. So now the redhead said you shred the cello and I'm Jello, baby. Who the fuck is the redhead?
Just another girl.
Just another girl. There's all these girls on top of girls.
Maybe like another girl in his class or something.
Her name is Wednesday.
Yeah, right. as heard in Tired of Sex.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for
and I remember the Tired of Sex lyric now. He's saying making on like Monday night I'm making girls' day. Tuesday night I'm making because it's making. He wants to be making love, and why can't I be making love? And I just thought the term.
No, you're actually. I think you're taking it. Those are all the names of his illegitimate children. He's making these children, and that's the
Ryan with those glasses. You're talking a lot of shit about a singer who wrote a song about sleeping with an older lady named Miss Sweeney, and so you very well could be, not like you don't look exactly like your freaking dad. How are your folks, Ryan? Do they watch this garbage?
Probably not. I don't.
That's for the best. My dad posted that he was catching up on my podcast the other day, and I was like, ah, shit. That's not good. I stopped doing interviews, and that's the only thing I think that has any substantial value for. Yeah. He likes Mark Maron, but like, God, why can't you be as neurotic as Mark? Huh? Did I raise you too well?
Yeah.
So then he talks about, I asked you to go to the Green Day concert. You said you never heard of them. How cool is that? And that's, you know what? Those 3 lines, that's why Pitchfork gave it 10 out of 10. It's like, yeah, you didn't know about a famous band? Oh, man, that is hot. Take a couple J.O. breaks throughout this song. Oh, my God.
But then he talks about, and it took me, like, the next line, like, makes no sense until you, like, look in, like, you have to, like, research and figure out what he's talking about.
Yeah.
When he says, and read your diary, quote, watching grunge leg drop New Jack through a press table. Does that make any sense to anybody?
Now it does, because Nirvana came out and New Jack Swing, which was like, the R&B. I love New Jack, by the way. I think that's really, really good genre. But yeah, Nirvana came out and killed New Jack. It also killed, hair metal. But I think, and this brings me to something.
Is that what you think it's about?
Yeah. Am I wrong, or is it like wrestling?
It's wrestling.
Oh, son of a bitch!
There's a wrestler named Grunge and a wrestler named New Jack.
But that actually happened in music. That's insane.
I mean,
I know.
Yeah,
obviously I'm wrong, but that's insane.
It's insane, yeah. And then so I think it was like somewhat fairly recently, somebody found like some clip of Grunge leg dropping New Jack through a press table. It's like, oh man, is this the clip that inspired the line from the song? So then back to the lyrics, and then his heart stopped.
Yeah.
Quote, listening to Cho again.
What the hell
Cho-Cho
is that?
Cho-Cho San is a character from this opera called Madame Butterfly.
Go fuck yourself, Rick.
Yeah.
I know Ryan's internet dropped, or I don't know.
I'm back, but I have to leave around 11:45. So.
Okay. We're almost done. I just thought that was, of course it is. Of course he's referencing Green Day, followed by wrestlers, followed by an opera, and I guess that's where Butterfly ends up coming in at the end of the. Which brings me to another thing in this song. I love how yeah, sorry, go on.
I was gonna say there's references to this opera all over. Like one of the characters in the opera is named Pinkerton.
Oh, okay.
So.
That makes sense. Well,
I see what he did there.
Oh, shut the fuck
Brilliant.
up. And I liked how he says the line "I'm falling for you," which is a song in a couple of songs.
Which the cello from the beginning of El Scorcho, the redhead said you shred the cello, and then later in "Falling for You," when at the end of that song he says, "Holy sweet goddamn, you left your cello in the basement."
Oh, son of a bitch! That's right. Yeah, I do love this is and we're gonna do another record later on that does a similar thing as this. It's like once this record kicks the halfway point, all of a sudden it's like the story really begins. The first 5 songs are like, let's just set up the characters in the scene, and then the rest is like the progression, the metamorphosis into a some kind of moth or something. I don't know. All right.
Let's move on to
Pink Triangle, the other favorite from this. Probably people for the wrong reasons. Just because the line "I'm dumb, she's a lesbian," like that sticks in your head for your entire life. And this is okay. So you guys don't know this. When I was 18, right before I really got into this record, I had a crush on a half Japanese lesbian, and it didn't help. No, it didn't help that she was always like very flirty with me, and she knew that I liked her, and that this obviously is not a compatible scenario. As Ross Geller once put it, and we can't be. My wife's a lesbian, and we can't be together. Because apparently it's not a mix and match situation. So yeah. So this one, it really is like, okay, I'm feeling better about myself. I'm finally like, you know what? I'm not gonna go out searching for love because, well, he actually says he does start to look for love. I'm an idiot. So now this is, I guess, the other half I'm assuming half Japanese girl he's talking about. Turns out she's a lesbian, and yeah, that sucks for him. So he finally found somebody who he's like, oh, I'm actually connecting with this human being. Nope, nope, a lesbian. So I am once again at a loss for love. Ryan, did you have any thoughts on this one, Pink Triangle, aka the lesbian song? If it were like a shitty B-rate rapper, it'd be, in quotes, the lesbian song.
Oh, yeah. We lose Ryan.
I don't know. He's probably it looks like he's conducting film for NASA in the '60s. Okay.
I'm back.
Ryan, thoughts on Pink Triangle?
And then you can get out of here. I know you got to go.
I just have one final thought on the entire record.
Yeah, do that. Give us that.
I can't wait until Pixar makes a movie about this record.
Why would they ever do that? That'd be like cartoon porn.
Because Rivers has feelings.
Oh, all right.
They give a bunch of inanimate objects feelings, so it would just be good to see Rivers.
Oh, that's actually funny. Had you done that joke remotely close to how you should have done it.
Why don't you explain how I should have done that joke, Eric?
Huh?
Why don't you explain how I should have done that joke?
I will, when you're gone, so you can't berate me throughout the process. All right, well, Brian, thank you for doing that. Send us a message with the next album you want us to do. I already have another album lined up that I want to do, and you are just going to hate it.
Well, we can do that one next.
Okay, cool. We'll do that.
Are there a lot of emotions? If there's any emotions in it, Ryan's not going to like it.
No, not at all. We'll do all these ahead of time, and we'll release this season in the spring like we're doing with some of the other shows. So we'll just build these up. All right, Ryan, well, thank you so much for being with us. And now we can have a discussion with no... I don't know. I think I've been shitting on enough of this record. Maybe.
But it comes from a place of love.
Are you going to tell the listeners what the next record is?
I don't know exactly what order we're going to do these in, but the next record I'm going to put up is Kanye West, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Oh man, I cannot fucking wait. All right, but yeah, okay. So Ryan, send us some stuff. All right, so we're gonna wrap this up anyway. Brad, do you have anything to say on
Pink Triangle?
Yeah.
Again, favorite line from this. If everyone's a little queer, can't she be a little straight?
Yeah, everybody loves that one.
So good.
Now, Ryan, don't write another Tumblr post about that, please. It's not a choice. Yeah, we know. He's asking, can it be because I'm in love with this girl in a joking way. Homosexuality is not a joke. Yeah, we know. Well aware. Joke's on him.
But Rivers Cuomo is.
More like Rivers homo.
Oh. Too far.
Remember, Brad, when I sent you an email years ago, and obviously being ironic as one of those like bro type guys, I was like Rivers Cuomo, more like Rivers homo, and then you said, because I love 311 and their singer Nick Hexum, and you're like Nick Hexum, more like Dick Sucksum. So that was pretty good one. All right, Fallen for You opens with the line, "Holy cow, he is a kid, he is a child." I cannot believe that that Ryan, by way of Pitchfork, was right. This guy is a child. No, I like this because I know Butterfly is the ending, the whole culmination, and kind of like the wrap up. But like I felt like this is a really nice wrap up to the story. If Butterfly is a wrap up to his feelings and his personality, this is a really nice wrap up to the story.
Mm-hmm. I always kind of viewed Butterfly as like
the coda.
The coda, yeah. Like this is like the end of like the scene.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm out.
All right, I'll see you, man.
See ya.
Enjoy your Weezer.
We will. He also says "Holy moly" in this song.
Yeah. That's like classic, like just like kind of cutesy, funny Weezer a little bit, like little like hints of just kind of like just being kind of cute.
Yeah, shades of blue.
Yeah.
Kind of blue. It's his Miles Davis. It's kind of blue. Yeah, I do like it because it really is just like, it's almost an open-ended ending because it's kind of like, okay, now I've met someone who I'm actually in love with, who seems to love me back. This could be the real thing. But we still can't tell. It's not as shallow as the other ones, but for all we know, we just watched him go through 17 cycles of falling in love based on really nothing. So who knows if this is just in his own head again? Because the truth is, the issues were never with the relationships. The issues were in his own head. And we even have some insecurity at the end where it's I love the line, "What could you possibly see in little old 3-chord me?"
Yes.
Where he really is just like, he tried to play a tune on the cello and then he says that. It's like, man, I suck at this. Like, what could you possibly like? And it's probably not even just. Now, I always do this when artists sing about girls. I always go, dude, the girl is the audience, man. It's the audience. He's chasing the audience, but it's so fickle, man. And he's so insecure. But what do you think about that theory on this?
Just knowing him and who he's writing for, I don't think so. I think it is a girl.
Yeah, it's just no. These are the girls. These are their names. These are their ethnicities, and these are the things that happen. All right, that's cool. Do you mind if we move on to Butterfly and then wrap up?
Sure. I think, I think "Falling for You" is my favorite song on this album.
Really, yeah. I like it a lot. I still like "Across the Sea" and "Tired of Sex."
Yeah.
And "Pink Triangle" equal. Probably music-wise, I love "Tired of Sex" the best. I think that one's just such a great kickoff to an album, and just the music is so good. It's definitely in my top 20 songs of all time lists that I make every year.
Yeah.
And I just did a cover of it. I'm really, really happy about it. Yeah, you're gonna hate it. I ruin everything I cover. If you're a fan of the song. People always tell me, that's what I always get. It's like, I like this song better than the original, or you've ruined this song for me forever. It's one of those two. So Butterfly, it completely steps away from the story. But it of course alludes to it, where maybe I need fantasies, a life of chasing butterflies, or butterfly. I can't tell if this is just a typo in the lyrics. But yeah, it really is just like he's talking about his relationships. He gets in them. He loves them so much. It's this big fantasy. It's not real. It's just this thing he's built up in his mind. And then he, of course, kills it because if you think these girls are dumping rivers, you've got another thing coming for the most part. Because this is, we are still talking about a rock star in his prime here. I don't know. Plus, he also probably, it sounds like he met a lot of these people through his art. So they're probably already enamored with him beyond just the whole bullshit rich and famous thing.
Which is a good way to start any healthy relationship.
Oh, of course. Yeah, if somebody completely enamored with the other, and while that other person is also enamored, but for things that don't even exist.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm really sorry. Look at that line. I'm sorry for what I did. I did what my body told me to. I didn't mean you harm. It slips away. The ghost slips away. And then at the very end where he says, I told you I would return where the robin makes his nest, but I ain't never coming back. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. He ends the record by saying, I'm sorry 3 times.
Yeah.
What are your overall thoughts on this song and the album in general?
This song, it's my favorite, but just because I love the music of the rest of the record so much, then it's I wouldn't change it though. It's a nice fitting into it. Yeah. It's just the slow, quiet acoustic song,
Yeah.
So musically, I guess musically probably my least favorite, just because there's so little going on. But it fits, and I wouldn't change it.
Yeah, nice. So as a whole, the whole album, any last thoughts just to wrap it up, or?
I think it's just the most interesting part about it is how much it was hated and then loved.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah.
It really, really was. It was, and people still. Here's the other thing: is people still were super stoked on the Green album, before it came out. There was a lot of hype around it coming out. It wasn't that's that band.
Just because it was a new, Weezer's finally back. It had been 4 or 5 years since Pinkerton came out at that point.
Yeah. It was mid 2000, spring 2000.
2001.
2000, were you sure? Oh yeah, 9th grade, spring, so 2001. You're right.
Yeah.
I remember everyone going to get it the day it came out. It was a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
All right, sweet. Well, I really like Pinkerton. That's always been my favorite Weezer record. Just because of how personal it is, and it's one of those things where, as I even just on this listen and looking through the lyrics again while we were doing this, was just you notice so many more things every single time. And for how the record's what, like 30 minutes long? It's not even. It's a quick in and out.
Yeah, like maybe 30 to 40 minutes long, I think.
And there's not that. I mean, and you're it's very dense with musically and lyrically. It's extremely dense. There's so much stuff that you can pick up on and you can tie back. Even though some of it does, especially on first listen, sound like gibberish, there's nothing fluffy about it. It's everything that's in there is in there for a reason. Plus the fact that the rhythm section basically had free reign.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane how much
So
like
good.
yeah. All right, cool. Well, so I guess we're done here. we've done. If you're a big fan of the record, please leave us a comment wherever and say how stupid we are, or what you agreed with, or anything you want to add. And who knows, we might like wrap up our season of talking about these records by like doing a retrospective after all the episodes have aired, and then be like, oh yeah, we probably were way out of line about this. All right, cool. Well, for Brad, I'm Eric, and Ryan.
And for Eric, I'm Brad.
So we'll catch you the next time with either a record I hate, a record Brad hates, or a record Ryan hates, and hopefully a title for this thing. All right, see ya.
See ya.